I was really into cult investigations. In fact, I knew Charles Manson in Southern California. Him and my mother, when they were hippies playing music and smoking Jimson weed, they became part of the family all the way up to the Charles Tate murders. My father's implicated. I believe I was there that night in the car. I know too many details. I'm sorry. I'm not going to talk about it right here. Someone will have to pick me up and get me out of here. But I did know Charles Manson and of the family. My father used to call it family. And they also used to have orgies with teenagers, and they used to smoke Jimson weed in Southern California. That's a part I really remember um, before they started murdering. In fact, I was at Charles Manson's trial outside when his family members were promoting him outside with picket signs. I think one of them just got out of jail and paroled recently. Talk about George Galloway. I met George Galloway up in Galloway country. I know I met him before. His face is unmistakable, George. I believe it was Galloway country in Scotland, where we were at a picnic and there were beer and accordions playing. I've been all throughout the country in the Loch Ness. My father was investigating for like Nat Geo whether the Loch Ness Monster exists, and we were on a naval vessel in Loch Ness Lake, and I was swimming, and they dove in the caves. It's such a fathomless lake. It's almost bottomless. They never did find any evidence of the Loch Ness Monster, but when I was swimming in the lake, I saw like an S-shaped tail come up, and all these photographers on the expedition started taking pictures of it. The adults didn't find any evidence, but I did of Loch Ness. I saw it twice. When we were going around the S-curves, there were Shetland ponies with braided ponytails. It's unmistakable, George Galloway. I know you. When I was in Kosovo, I didn't see one refugee. You know, this two-bit town, Clifton, has in Patterson, New Jersey, looks more like Vietnam in a war-torn vicinity. There wasn't a piece of litter in Kosovo. You'd think after a war in 1999, 2001, I'd see a few homeless people on the street. No, I saw well-dressed Albanians. The Albanian schoolgirls walked up to me and they said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm a human rights investigator. I'm from New York. I'm a student, and I'm here in Kosovo with a Serbian diplomat." She didn't run and cry, "Rape, help, get him out of here." You know what she said to me? She said, "What's your name?" I said, "Jill." She said, "I want to study in New York too." And then I told her the New School for Social Research threw me out because I was against Bill Clinton's 1999 war against Kosovo and Yugoslavia and the Serbs, and she didn't say anything. She goes, "I better not come to America then. I thought we had free speech in America." And I said, "Don't bet on it, baby." I can't believe the town of Clifton. There's more straggly looking people than I've ever seen. They were very well dressed in Kosovo. Even the organized crime didn't even, the Albanian organized criminal syndicates, they gave them $2,000 cash, US dollars, to trade for euros, because I needed euros to buy food. They were so strict with the counterfeiting measures in the EU. My money was wet. I swam with it because I was scared someone would steal it. Darko was carrying a lot of it, but I had a couple $1,000s on me, and the banks wouldn't accept it because it was damp. So we had to go back to the hotel room, and we had to take a iron and actually dry the money. And we used to joke around saying we laundered the money because we had to dry it, and then we used a blow dryer to dry it before the bank would accept it. Not one crease was accepted. Serbia had better anti-counterfeiting measures than I've seen in the entire European Union. Never mind America. I was starving. We couldn't even buy anything with the US dollars in Montenegro. I had to get euros, so I went to the Albanians and I handed them $2,000 in US dollars. He said, "I'll be right back." In 10 minutes, the Albanian dude got back, and Darko got pissed off at me. He goes, "You can't trade with organized crime. That's against the law." He's on the anti-organized crime squad and the anti-terrorist squad. Darko Trifunovic, he got mad at me. He goes, "You can't trade. You can't be trading with organized crime," because he's on the anti-organized crime thing. But after that, I got our euros, a couple $1,000s in euros from the Albanians, and we went and had lunch. I'm going by total memory here, but the military was definitely guilty of Kent State. I remember being there and all the picketers and the student protesters, and the National Guard of the U.S. military came in with their long rifles, and they shot 4 student protesters right in front of my face. I was only 6 years old, Irv. Talk about me finding mass graves in my backyard in Bloomingdale, New Jersey at 138A Hamburg Turnpike, Bloomingdale, New Jersey, 07403. Darn. Anyway, I'm an anthropologist, and sociologist. I'm an international honor student. And my degree is anthropology and sociology. Who taught my forensic investigation course at William Patterson University of New Jersey in Wayne, New Jersey, USA? The head coroner of New York City. I think I got an A in that class. Everyone else pretty much failed it. Now, I also got a 107 over an A plus in human biology, and I put skeletons together. Now, those ha ha ha, the Bloomingdale police tried to tell me that I found pet bones in my backyard. They wouldn't even investigate them. These were skull fragments. I washed them off. I've been on geological digs before. I washed them off, all off, and I put them together. I had them lined out on a sheet, and I said to the police, what are skulls doing in my backyard? And they took me to a hospital and said I was crazy. Those were human skulls. They had hair down to the waist on them. What dog has hair down to the waist? Bloomingdale, you're fucked. You're guilty of this of trying to murder Jeremy Paxman too. My father used to be a Freemason in Bloomingdale, I believe. You're all guilty and were paid off. I remember him going house to house to pay people off to kill Jeremy. Let's tiptoe through the tulips all the way to Africa. My father was involved in the diamond trade. In fact, the guy that took those pussy pictures of me and showed them to the CIA, CID, Charles T. Maine, and Boston geologist John Bargett, who married Agent Amy Badgett and was a pervert, he's dead now. I believe I looked him up. Thank goodness for that. My father, he had his own lapidary, and he taught me cut clarity and carats. That's the key to diamonds. In fact, when my former fiance bought me a $10,000 diamond ring, I picked out of a whole jar of diamonds which one I wanted in the ring. And I picked out the first time the most perfect diamond at all. That's not the first time I picked out a perfect diamond, because my friend had a lapidary. My dad was in the diamond trade and black slave labor in Africa. We used to bring home on planes rough diamonds. John Bargett would take him to his lapidary, cut clarity and carat, and there you go. That was part of the reason why there's so much genocide, CIA and Darfur, because of their natural resources and diamonds all over the place in Africa. The CIA wanted that. It's all about empire building, as Jeremy Paxman said. But this is what strikes me the most. I remember an incident, and it was in the news, about phony stocks and the diamond trade. My father's colleague was on a helicopter, and it crashed. And the guy was killed. I forgot what it was. I believe he died. That was a hit. Because my dad kills his own colleagues. He has no friends. His only allegiance is to himself and his money. Around 1969, there was a case of the bubonic plague in New Mexico. My father called that the Pied Piper operation. He took a recorder. In Newton, Massachusetts, where I went to school in Newton Highlands by Boston, when he worked for Charles T. Maine, I played the recorder. And my father took me to New Mexico. I don't remember where, but these rats, or big mice, big rats, came out of the cave, and he called himself the Pied Piper because they followed his musical instruments. In his house, he has music instruments to call birds and animals, and he knows how to call them and whistle. We used to go hunting, and they would just whistle, and the deer would come up, or the birds. My dad taught me. In any event, my father was using an instrument to call rats out in New Mexico. There was a case of 7 people that died mysteriously of the bubonic plague. Now you solved the case. It was dead.